Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know me. My name is Dr. Keith McNally. I'm so excited for this conversation. I am here on Coach's Corner with Noah Morris, and Noah also creates content for his clients. And we're going to talk about that and why he's so successful and how he's going to help you be successful too. Noah, welcome to the conversation. Let's go ahead and jump in. But first, introduce yourself, your business, and let's get started.
Hi, thanks, Dr. Keith. Thanks for having me on. Great introduction. My name's Noah, and I help people create short form video content, as well as other content, to help them really build up their social media and attract their ideal clients or customers.
Cool. So my videos, my conversations, I don't think fit into the short form content because mine are about 15, anywhere up to 15 to 30 minutes. So what is the distinction between what really is, I guess, long form and what is short form content? Can you explain that to me?
That's a great question. So short form content is really anything that's a minute or less. And that's what TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and a lot of other social media platforms are optimized for right now.
So are you saying that my 15-minute conversations are no good or because I post mainly for my YouTube channel and I don't have any other social media except for LinkedIn because basically everything else gives me a headache because I'm too old. But I want to optimize my content for best viewership. How can I do that without being on all those other platforms? Or would it really benefit me to kind of juggle some new platforms? Talk to me about that.
Of course. YouTube's great. So a 15-minute video like this one, or like even longer, that there's a real good place for that on YouTube. And there's different ways of optimizing that. You want to really have a strong hook. You want to have a strong, description and a strong thumbnail. And then you want to have actually good, remarkable content that resonates with the audience. So if you could do those things right, you can definitely see growth in your channel and things like that. Um, Obviously, collaborating with people as well who have larger channels can also help. There's a lot of different strategies and tactics you can do, but just from the posting perspective, those are the things you can do. There's definitely a place for long form content. Like I focus on short form content because I know that it could be very time consuming to actually create a volume of it, which is what the social media platforms really like to see. But in a 15-minute conversation like this, we can find like a 13-second clip, a 45-second clip, a minute long clip, or less that can really sum up a specific point of something that we were talking about in a really concise way. So I really focus on taking longer videos like this or even longer. Like I have clients who speak for even an hour at a time, and we'll go through their content and find those minute clips because you're already doing the work of making the long form video. So let's take as much value as we can out of it. So we repurpose those short form clips out of it, add really nice captions, add music, and make them as engaging as possible with a thumbnail as well, so that we can reach an audience. And you can do this on YouTube. So it's not, and LinkedIn, because if you look around YouTube and LinkedIn, you'll see people doing this more and more. I, for one, spend time, consuming the short form content on YouTube often, and I really like it there, but you can see it across platform. And by doing this sort of thing, if we repurpose a short form piece of content from your long form videos, once we're posting it on YouTube, we can also post it on Instagram, on Facebook, and even start a whole TikTok just from your repurposed content. So I hope that's helpful.
It is very helpful. So I might need to look into at least TikTok if I'm creating a bunch of short form content. But you gave me a couple of hints that I want to talk to right now. And
Sure.
you've mentioned the thumbnail at least twice in the past 5 minutes. And so let's break this down. How important is the thumbnail to a video?
Right. So when someone's going through the feed or anywhere on social media, like specifically YouTube, what's going to catch their attention? It's going to be the headline, it's going to be the thumbnail. So those are your two opportunities to really capture your audience just to give them a chance to watch your video. So that's really huge. So it's very important.
So what should it look like? Typically my thumbnails are at least me and the person who I'm talking to, so my guest. Should they be different or should I add or, a lot of times I see, stuff on YouTube that has people in like really weird poses or facial expressions, Is that what's grabbing people's attention, or is it something different?
Well, you just told me that it grabbed your attention, so clearly it does. But I think, definitely having the people that are part of the conversation, and I think maybe the like it's hard because you want to have a balance between sensationalism and like, not being ridiculous. So so
Well, I
you
like
do have
that.
to capture people's attention. So you do like so what I would recommend is to what is like the meat and potatoes of the video? Like, what's the biggest value that someone who's could watch can get out of it? So, like, the headline and the thumbnail can work together, and you can have like just some succinct, phrase or words, like one little sentence of what the video is about or what the value you're going to get from the video is, and that way, someone's like, well, I'm actually interested in that. Let me click on this, and then the next step is having like a strong intro to actually get people to watch. So if you get straight into the content, that's good because there's a lot of podcasts that you'll or content that people will just start talking, but the other times you'll see that there's a lot of dead space. Dead space is the worst. You're going to lose someone right away.
Oh.
So
Well,
yeah,
hopefully I don't have any dead space on my video
well
content
you
because
can
I like to dive right into the conversation.
yeah you can always edit it out also. So it's just something that's important.
So I know for my specific channel, I've kind of evolved over time. So initially, I did a lot of STEM stuff. I was in STEM education. I've done some long form content on how to use LinkedIn. So I've got some LinkedIn videos, and my most, my most viewed video, and it doesn't even have any specific fun. It's got my bald head on the thumbnail. I didn't even create anything special about it. But I teach people in 8 minutes and some change how to use the Zoom app to do a live stream on LinkedIn, and it's got the most engagement. It's got the most views, and so for me, 8,000 plus in a year and a half is pretty good. Um, so I think that meets some of the criteria that you're talking about in that it has real value to people, and they, for some reason, are getting to that video, hopefully through some SEO that I've laid out on YouTube.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So what you created was a how-to video, which is a very popular form of video that people search for, and you were able to get it to rank by having a strong headline and maybe your description. So I would challenge you. First off, if it's still relevant, like the exact way that you're doing it in that video, repost that video with a very strong headline and a strong thumbnail and see how that one does. Just play around with some things, do some testing, so you
Ooh.
can see it from there. If it will get more, get less, because I have a lot of clients that what we've seen is you can recycle videos that are longer form. You can repurpose different things. You can test different thumbnails. You can test different headlines and see what really resonates.
Wow, that sounds like something I challenge accepted. So let's go into some short form content. So, given this conversation is about creating short form content and getting people to get in touch with you, um, what would you pull out in terms of this conversation that would get people excited to watch the whole video with you and me in conversation?
Right. So you'd wanna create some sort of curiosity but also to give some value. So like what I would do, like I'm probably going to do this, is going to look through this video and see if there's any strong talking points where like, there's some concrete value there, or at least I've said something in a succinct manner that resonates with people who are interested in this and can capture their attention. So that's definitely something that we could do in this. You're asking me questions, so like there's not so much like there's only so much. Like honestly, we can just take a question that you ask and then I can have an answer to it, and then that's a short form video right there, as long as it stays within a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's exactly how we could do it in this question and answer format. But, not every video is exactly like this. And some podcasts are, you'll capture moments where someone's like, warmed up and now they're saying like with like it's just like their heart and their mind align and they're saying the truth and it's resonating with everyone. And you capture that, you add some captions, and all of a sudden you have a highly engaging video.
So we've talked about thumbnail, we've talked about breaking down larger forms into shorter forms. How do you go about as a business owner whose whole mission is to help people gain exposure? So what is the business end of that creativity component? Because the creativity is getting into the content so that people are, clicking on it. But how do you engage with your clients so that they know that they're getting value from you?
Right. So it really depends on who the client is and what their business is, what their goals are, things like that. Because people who are online content creators, they want to grow and they want to reach as many people as possible. So, posting daily short form videos is a big part of that. Like I've seen, and also reaching a new audience. I've seen with one of my clients recently that, they have a relatively small following on Instagram, and we were able to reach over 30,000 new people just from posting reels over a 90-day period. So that's discovery on like, so the biggest way of getting new people to discover your platform is to be posting short form videos because that's what these Instagram and all these other uh channels are optimized for.
So I guess the next step for me, because I am looking to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, is to really hit the short form content hard, I guess. Um, Maybe I don't have time for a daily, but on a regular, if I can't do it daily, what would be a regular um, a way of going about it? What would be the strategic way of going about it?
Right. So, like, a service that I offer is all about saving time because you did mention that, like, you only have so much time. So we solve that problem because you don't need to do anything with us. We just go in there and we cut them and then we post them for you without any involvement from you, unless you want to be involved. You
So
can be
it's a
as
full
involved as you want.
service.
It's full
You offer,
service, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because I want to save people time and energy. Like I'm a business owner. I'm busy like doing sales. I'm busy doing this, that, and the other thing. Like there's a million things that you have to do. Like one more thing to do is like social media. Like you just want to hire someone to handle it and know it's being done well. So that's where I come in. I just try to fulfill that need. I want to solve that problem. And like something that you mentioned is like, so how does this translate into business? It really depends on your business, but the fact is, if you want, social media is where most people are spending most of their time. So if you can capture someone's attention, which is what the game that we're playing is on social media, is like how do we get someone's attention? So, or how do we spread what we're talking about? And if you can capture someone's attention once, they're likely to listen to you again. And after a few times of listening to you, they might subscribe. They might subscribe right away, even. But at that point, they might want to listen to your content on a regular basis. I go through spurts of like listening to different people like even daily at times because I've just discovered them. So and then once you're there, there's a lot of different strategies and tactics you can use to capture them and elevate them to become a client or customer depending on what your needs are. And that type of stuff I do as well, but it's customized towards exactly what the needs are for that business and what channels they're on and what they're actually selling, and there's just a lot of variables that go along with that. But yeah, this is just like to think of it the best way is when it comes to marketing, it's a funnel. There's going to be people at the top level that are you're just trying to capture awareness, and then from there you want to bring them down to like like to qualify them if they're even people who care about what you're doing. And then as they learn more and more about what you're doing, you can touch on pain points and offer them things to solve their problems, and eventually they'll end up being like, well, that's what I want, that's what I need. Like and you make it easy for them to find the way to actually purchase that solution, and then from there, you have someone who likes and cares and trusts you and is willing to buy from you. So it all feeds into this this funnel of marketing.
I got one more question and then we're going to talk about how we can get in touch with you. My YouTube channel is mostly, well, it's really all video and audio. So the reels I think or the shorts that we're talking about are actual video content. Yes? You
Yes.
mean we see them.
It's
Does
all
this,
video.
these shorts idea do they work in audio form? Like if I were to cut like 15, 20, 45 seconds of audio only, does it work in the same way? Because I'm curious now.
Right. So the most powerful way of doing it is to have video and audio together. And you can, at the very minimum, just have people having a conversation, people talking, and having just strong captions and some light music and anything you need. You can have a call to action at the end as well, and just a thumbnail to just clarify what it's about. Um, the if you have only audio, or if you want to, add a little bit more, what you can do is take what we call B-roll, or just like different types of stock footage of video that's relevant to the words that you're speaking, and have that work with the captions to tell the story and to do it that way. But yeah, it's always good to show some face, to show who's talking, because people want to connect with other people. People want to hear other people. They don't want to necessarily hear like an AI robot talking, because that's a lot of the content that's out there right now,
I've
is like
heard
just
some of that content.
full
Yeah.
AI, like video footage and captions and speaking, just doing that. But like that stuff's cool right now, but like in the future, what's that going to be? Like it's just it is what it is. But at the end of the day, people want to connect with people. That's why social media is so amazing. Because you can be in a mood or something, and all of a sudden open your phone and then see someone who happens to be talking about something that you can relate to, that makes you feel better, or makes you think about something. And it's people want to connect to people at the end of the day, and that's what social media helps you do. And video is the most powerful medium for that.
I think that's a perfect way to end the conversation. I am going to give a shout out to Cami Lehman because that's how we met. How can people get in touch with you?
Right. So you can email me directly or find me on the internet. The company is called Teva Media. So that's TEVAH media.com. I might change it in the future as we grow. But if you want to reach out to me, you can do noah@tevamedia.com, and I'm sure you'll include that in the show notes. Other than that, find me Noah Morris or Teva Media on Instagram. It's Teva Media on Instagram, Noah Morris on LinkedIn, and that's about it. Emailing me is the best way to do it.
Sounds good to me, man. Noah, thank you so much for being a guest on Coach's Corner. We were going to get people to contact you, and hopefully you get more business.
Thank you. Thanks.
For those who are watching, I'll see you next time. Take care.